TSM logo, but then talk about Korean esports. Today on the show, I'm your host, Jonny Esports, and shirts and stuff. Go buy them and things. Limited edition shirts also available on retouchmedia.com. Please go check those out. A number of them have already sold, like 7 of them, so there's going to be, according to mass, oh my gosh, 17-ish left. Yeah, 17 if 7 of them sold. So go over to the site and get those ones. They're the limited edition ones. There only be one run of them. But if you don't want something so limited and don't want that kind of pressure, those designs are available as well, and shirts and mugs and clocks and other things. So check out that merchandise. Today's gonna be a fairly quick episode. I just don't have a lot of time today to have really put together a longer form episode. And besides, Monday's episode went a little long, so maybe a short episode will bring me back to that kind of average time, that 10-minute mark that I actually kind of want to hit per episode. So today we're just going to talk quickly about the Telecom war and what I kind of thought about it. Actually, the one thing I want to specifically talk about is actually the ADC matchup between Deft and Bang. So we're going to talk about the ADCs going against each other. I know obviously there's some sexy things on like Peanut and Smeb being former teammates. Of course, Faker and Pawn, just because they're both former world champions and all that jazz. How Huni and Smeb even. Huni coming back from like lots of great matchups. But the matchup I just want to focus on, and I could go on for hours about each individual matchup, but today I just want to focus on a little bit about Bang and Deft. And what I think is the most actual interesting thing here is Bang's choice of Ezreal in these first 2 games. Oh, if you don't know the results of the game, spoiler alert, SKT does win the matchup barely. Honestly, they were actually kind of losing game 3 to eventually win that one. They were behind in gold for like 20 minutes and then managed to come back, probably just because of a bit of a better team composition. But anyway, back onto the ADC stuff. So what I really think was really interesting is in game 1 and game 2, Bang first picks Ezreal. Basically blind picks Ezreal into whatever the heck Deft wants to put into it. And I honestly think Bang is a pretty bad champion. Or sorry, Bang is a great player. I think Ezreal is a pretty bad champion in general. Not a super great solo queue champion. Well, maybe a decent solo queue champion, but just kind of like someone in this competitive meta where he doesn't really fit with what is potentially can do a lot of damage, and like that Varus. That Varus is clearly the number 1 ADC right now. Just does a lot of free damage from far away and gets picked off. Ezreal is kind of a safe pick, so it's kind of like you won't really lose in laning phase and stuff, but it's really hard for Ezreal to be really effective and do a lot of damage in team fights when all you're doing is kind of avoiding people and you're not like doing as much damage as easily as some of the other, meta ADCs go. But in the hands of Bang or Deft even, Ezreal does a lot of work. This first game, Bang ends up being MVP and ends up being a star, goes 4-0-9, kind of goes off on this Ezreal. They could never get to him. They went with a tankless comp for KT Rolster in this first game, which looked really like a rough choice, to be honest. And they aren't able to ever get to Bang and ever able to take him down. And Bang does a great job on this champion. So he goes for it again in game 2. And although KT Rolster again go for a tankless comp, they actually go for a really, really smart composition. This composition that Kongju Monster got their only win in, playing the Graves, Ashe, and a Karma combo. So this bot lane, where last time it was Bang being hero, this bot lane did a really great job of pushing in the lane, because that's just kind of what Ashe and Karma could do. And then kind of come in the late game, the Zed pick by Pawn was able to take out Bang. So they were able to finally to counter that pick. And that's kind of some of the problem of the Ezreal. It's just like you can get dove on. You have that one dash, of course, if you use it super effectively, but if you get enough damage on you, you're just kind of gone. Whereas Varus does his damage from so far away, and to be fair, Varus kept getting banned in this game. Varus does his damage from so far away that it's hard to go in to get to him without being completely separated from your team, and it's tough. So they do that again. So game 3, Deft opts not to take that pick, goes to a more, I guess, standard pick in Ashe. Bang ends up going a more standard pick in Jin, Def stays on that Ashe that he was in previous game and actually gets worked by Bang and Co. Bang goes 8-4-24. Deft goes 3-11-11. He stays super behind in this game. I don't think he touched gold there. I'm trying to bring up the gold graph for these two champions. Yeah, between the two of them, like Ashe had a little bit of an early lead, maybe you can expect, but like a very minute early lead, like 500 gold lead at like 12 minutes. But from there, it just kind of spiraled to this matchup where this Jin really had the number of on Ashe, and Ashe couldn't really do much. Zed ends up being a huge pick in both games. Zed going 100% wins, being picked by Pawn in second game, and a Faker in this last game. It's interesting. This VOD is one of the best. The recency bias made the casters say this is one of the best of 3 series of all time. It's really high up there. It's a really great series. Some really good League of Legends. Frankly, the last game is a little bit sloppy, maybe, but whatever. Sloppy games are fun to watch, so I definitely highly recommend watching that. So that does make SK Telecom T1 now the #1 team as we go look into the standings. KT Rolster sits at #2 with a 7-2 record. Tied for third place is Samsung Galaxy, Longzhu Gaming, and MVP sorry. Samsung Galaxy owns third place on its own at 6-3. Longzhu Gaming and MVP are now tied for fourth as they played against each other all week. BBQ Olivers is 4-5. Freaks is 4-5. Rocks Tigers 3-6. Kongdu Monster and Generic Green Wings line up last place at 1-8. In other games that happened this week, like I mentioned before, Longzhu Gaming and MVP played each other twice. They split their matchups. Longzhu Gaming winning the first one, MVP winning the second one right after the Telecom war that was on yesterday morning. Freaks beat Kongdu Monster, and Rocks Tigers beats Generic Green Wings, while Samsung Galaxy beats BBQ Olivers in a good best of 3. That was a really good best of 3 as well. Actually, all the games from Wednesday, the Generic and Rocks game was good to watch too, to be honest. Even though I believe if I recall correctly off the top of my head, I didn't write it down. Rocks Tigers 1-2, but it's still good. Rocks Tigers looking pretty good after that IAM. Yeah, told you. Rocks is a pretty good team. So, coming up this weekend, games are Saturday morning. BBQ Olivers versus Samsung Galaxy. We'll see if they're going to get their revenge. BBQ Olivers had if I were to talk more about this, BBQ Olivers had a really good team comp game 2 and kind of blew it. Then game 3, they had a worse team comp and lost. So I really hope BBQ Olivers can kind of fix that up. They were drafting so well in game 1 and game 2, and I hope they can get back to that and then execute with it, because I think again, I'm becoming a BBQ Olivers fan. If you're new to this show, I talk about them a lot. Rocks Tigers, Virginia Green Wings play them each other again. Part 2 of the Telecom Wars happened on Sunday with SK Telecom T1 facing off KT Rolster, and Freaks and Konu Monster play against each other again right after that. So that's it for LCK Now today. And we'll see you next time. If you're watching this on YouTube, sorry that it wasn't like an edited episode. I actually just don't have a lot of time right now to go around and do that. But next week will be a different one. I have to set a schedule, but the show will be on Monday and Friday next week again. And that's it. That has been LCK Now. Thanks for watching. Again, get some shirts and stuff if you can, or check out retouchmedia.com for the limited edition shirts that there's only 17 left, so check them out. I'm out of here. I've been Jonny Esports. We'll see you next time. Yeah, bye everybody.